Colby Covington got his origins in fighting as a wrestler. He was 34-0 as a freshman at Iowa Central Community College, where he was roommate to the future light heavyweight champion, John Bones Jones. He won 2 Pac-10 champion gold medals and graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's degree in sociology. However, while in school, Colby would get into street fights. Take his words from the man himself, Colby became a professional fighter because his mom told him if he wanted to fight, he needed to go and get paid to do it.
I always had Olympic aspirations to be an Olympic champion in wrestling, but I was getting in a lot of street fights in high school, and my mom pulled me, whipped me in the side, gave me some spankings with the wooden spoon, and she was like, if you want to fight, go get paid to fight.
He joined American Top Team in 2011, where he would meet his friend, who would later turn to be his rival, Jorge Masvidal. The two would be like brothers, training together, living together, fighting together, and cornering each other in many of their fights. Colby would go 5-0 before making his UFC debut in 2014. He would win the fight in the first round after pounding out AKA fighter Wang Anying. Colby would win his next 2 fights by unanimous decision, before suffering his first loss via guillotine at the hands of Valerie Alves. The loss was devastating for Covington and was evident on his face. I'm sure, however, rather than wanting to quit, this pushed Colby to fight even harder. And for the next 2 years, that's exactly what he did. He would fight 5 times and win all his bouts by dominating his opponents, drowning them in the sea of his cardio after overwhelming them with multiple strikes and high-pressure wrestling. This is where one similarity between Nick and Colby is extremely evident. Both put a heavy pace on their opponents in their fights. Many people come out the gate like this. Robbie Lawler did, however, Robbie Lawler was unable to maintain that pace throughout the fight. Nick and Colby were able to do so.
How about Colby's cardio? Well, I just did a breakdown on Colby versus RDA, so, no doubt about it, his cardio is the best in the game. The best in the game. What he did was really, it was really impressive. The amount of energy and pressure and time, the density of his attacks, one after another, non-stop. And there was a brief lull, I think, in round 4. But other than that, it was a pace I would put up there with a Jake Shields, a George St. Pierre. Who else had a monstrous pace like this? It's just that it's not just, there's some guys who had a great striking pace, but this was a wrestling and striking pace. So this brings me a lot, there are very few elite fighters that have done this. I would put RDA in the bag as well, but he outdid RDA with pace, so even higher than RDA.
Nick would overwhelm his opponents with medium strikes to the body, and as the rounds went on, increase the pressure and increase the force behind the punches.
And, Nick Diaz changed the game in terms of his elite cardio. He did something that was a new thing, and that new thing was he's not going to hit you with 100% power. He's going to hit you with 50%, but he's going to hit you twice as much, and you're never going to get to breathe. And he's going to stay on top of you, and he's going to talk to you the whole time. So he's going to work with you psychologically. He's going to disrupt your breathing by constantly hitting you. And then once he realizes you're hurt, then he's digging to the body. Then he's putting it on you. And
Colby would come out with high-pressure wrestling, high levels of striking, and as the rounds progressed, increase the amount of strikes he threw. Despite all his efforts, though, Colby was not a star. His hard work was not getting him the attention that he most definitely had earned, his respect to his opponents was overlooked, and his skills were not grabbing the attention of fans, due to his style being wrestler-based, which many fans today find boring. If you were slamming your opponents like Matt Hughes,
Посмотрите, как Matt Hughes силен. Карлос Ньютон падает.
And Michael Chandler, they're usually on your side. But even many fans who like explosive wrestling still prefer to see guys stand in front of each other and throw leather. Going into his fight with Damian Maia, Colby Covington was told he was going to be cut from the UFC, whether he won the fight or not. It was the last fight on his contract, and once his contract was expired, Dana was not going to sign him. Dana more than likely knew he had a chance of beating Tyron Woodley, but he had no desire to have a champion that was not able to bring in a crowd like a superstar. And of course, after dominating Damian Maia in their fight, the chaos was born.
I should have knocked him out. Brazil, you're a dog. All you filthy animals suck. I got one thing to say. Tyron Woodley, I'm coming for you. If you don't answer the front door, I'm going to knock it in, and I'm going to take what's mine. That welterweight belt.
By playing dirty, Colby had saved his career. And this is where another similarity between Nick and Colby can be seen. Colby was a quiet, nice guy, and people overlooked him for it. Nick was definitely a person who did not love being in the limelight or like doing interviews that much. But he was not the violent bad boy that everybody tried to make him out to be. and he hated that fans only liked him when he sold the bad boy image.
Said very nice things about you, and you seem to have respect for him. Is that the case?
Well, you're the only one that started about this fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're the one saying, oh, he says he's gonna, will do this to you and that to you. I was giving an analogy about how I thought the fight might go if it in my favor, if it did, And
Nick even said in an interview with Ariel Helwani years ago that he wanted to get a haircut so he would look more mature. Basically shedding the bad boy image down to the way he appeared to other people.
Here, people are more real about things, are more hardcore. It's really, it's just, I feel like it's about show, it's really for show out towards that way. And I feel like everybody who's talking about me and has, all this negativity towards me, they're not coming from where I'm from. These people, nobody hears anything from anybody where I'm from. So that's why you hear so much negativity about me.
Both guys just wanted to fight and make a living, earning money, doing what they were good at.
Did you say to yourself, I'm going to try to do mixed martial arts, or were you doing that also on the side?
Yeah, growing up in high school and college, I was doing MMA kind of on the side because I knew that in wrestling there wasn't like an outlet. There wasn't like an NBA or an NFL that I could go to and make a good income every year because wrestling doesn't make any money. So if I wanted to make any money doing a professional sport, I had to go into MMA and the UFC. So I always had dreams and visions of being a world champion. So I was always training like the boxing and the jiu-jitsu on the side with the wrestling. And then as soon as I got done with college, I decided to go into MMA full time.
But both had to adapt by being a character that in some way was not really them. Of course, in their antics, there are still traits of them that come through. I'm sure Nick was really frustrated with the way he was treated. I'm sure that Colby was just letting out a lot of the frustration that he was being overlooked. But he wasn't actually a mean person, just as Nick was actually not a street thug.